In today's Temu transformations, we're going to take one of these cute little pencil cases and create this personalised pencil case. Let's make this. The inspiration for this project is a combination of the cool little pencil cases that you can get from Temu. Each of the zippers on these pencil cases have got different colours, so I thought they'd be really cute to have a little play with. But the other is Schitt's Creek. I love it. I think it's hilarious and it makes me laugh and makes me cry all the time. So why not make a pencil case with one of their amazing quotes? The materials are really simple. We've got a standard grip mat because we're using some HTV. We've got the pencil case from Temu. It comes in a pack of about 6 and cheap as, but not a bad quality. I mean, it's not a real true heavy canvas, but for a pencil case, it's pretty good. And also we've got the Caesar glitter vinyl. I really love this vinyl. It weeds really well and it irons on like a dream. So there are materials. We're going to use 2 programs today. So we're going to use Design Space and then we're going to use a website called Fontbolt. So we're going to go into Design Space first. And I'm just creating a guide. So I'm going to start by creating a 20 centimeter width and a 10 centimeter height rectangle. So I've gone into shapes. I've chosen the square and making sure that I unlock that lock above the sizing there. I'm going to go 20 width and 10 down. And then over in operation, I'm going to click on basic cut and I'm going to change it to guide. This means that when we go to do the cutting, that square won't appear on our mats. We can always delete it once we get to make, but may as well use a guide. Now, Fontbolt, I only found this today, and it's really great because it's got a whole heap of different movie, TV, game, logo fonts that you can use in your projects. You don't download it as a font, so you can't put it into Design Space and use it for a whole heap of different things. But what it does is create a PNG for you that you can then upload. So I'm going to do a quote from Schitt's Creek, and it's a Moira Rose quote called "Fear not, she has risen," because I think it's hilarious. But the idea is that we can just type what we need, and it's using the font from the show. So I'm going to do 3 different ones. I'm going to do "Fear not," "She has," and then "Risen" I'm going to do separately. But playing around with this Fontbolt, you can see that it does a whole heap of different styles. So you can choose like Netflix style and things like that. But once you've typed in your text, it will show it on the right hand side. Then you can just, if you're happy with it, you just click generate. And then there's a cloud in the right hand corner and you click on that and it just does a download and it downloads as a PNG. And the perfect thing about it is when you look at it, it actually goes grey at the back, which means that that's been downloaded as a transparent background. I just think this is amazing. Now, obviously you can't sell this because I'm using a quote from a movie or a TV show, and it's also probably you need to pay for that font. So I wouldn't be doing this if you were trying to sell this in particular, but as a project like this, fantastic. Now I'm up to Risen, and what I want the S to do is have that $sign like in the Schitt's Creek logo. And so I typed Risen thinking it would change the S to a $sign. It hasn't. Then I've changed it to a $sign in the word Risen, and it just deletes the whole rest of the word after RI. So I think when we go into Design Space, we can actually create that $sign concept ourselves by just adding a few lines. So now we're going to move into Design Space. And it's just a matter of going into Upload. So you're going to have to do 3. I've done 3 separate word or sets of words. So I'm going to have to upload 3 sets. I'm not sure. I probably should have played around with it when I was there, but I'm not sure. You probably could press enter and it would appear underneath each other and you could have all 3 of those lines all together. But I want to be able to manipulate them. So I've done 3 separate ones. And so it's just a matter of uploading. You can see that when you drag it in, it comes up straight away as a transparent background. You're just going to upload it as a single layer. And so that means that we can now do it as a cut. And it's not a print and cut, it's a cut. And now it's just a matter of moving and positioning all of this text. Now I obviously want the word risen at the bottom. And then I'm going to layer the fear not and she has so that it's kind of close to each other, and they we do a little bit of an offset around it. But I do want the text to be the same height. Now I'm just putting the she has over the top of fear not, just so I can see that the H and the N have got that same height. That way I know that I've got the same right text height, because obviously this isn't a text, it's an image. But I don't want it to have big text, little text, big text, and not see any cohesion. So that's why I just overlaid there. And then once I've got the fear not and she has positioned the way I want it, I'm just going to click on she has. I'm going to go up and do an offset, and I'm just going to do a 0.1 offset. I'll go up the top, a 0.1. The 2 is too big, so I started with that. Then I'm going to go into a 1, and then I apply that, and then I'm just going to select the offset and the fear not in the layers panel, and I'm going to click slice, and I'm going to get rid of the offset she has, as well as those two little weird looking slice results, and just leave the fear not slice result. And then I'm going to use a square to create the $sign. So I've got a square there, and I've just unlocked the size, and I'm going to do a 0.1 width, and then I'm just going to drag it over and then change the height based on how high I think it should go. I think that's all right. So it's about 4 for this one. It's 4.48 centimeters, and the actual text has the double line, so I'm going to do 2 of them. So I just right click duplicate, and then I'm going to align it by going to align top, and then I'm just going to group it so then I can move it around. So I've got the risen and the 2 lines, and I can just move them around and resize them and align them, because I'm cutting them all out of one type of vinyl. So I want the positioning to be perfect now rather than later. In the final project, and once I've done it all, I found that I forgot to actually go down and attach or combine and unite the 2 lines with the S. What that meant was it's actually cut them as separate components. So make sure that you do go down, select the 2 lines and the word risen, then go down to combine and click on unite. That will just make sure that when it cuts, it will cut the whole thing as one piece. So you'll notice in the final project, I'm just missing that bottom part of the word risen, or the $sign in the risen, and that's why. It's because it's just lifted off because it wasn't part of the whole S. Just go up, and we're going to save it. Then we're going to go to make. We need to make sure that we attach the fear not, she has, and risen together, so that when I go to matte, it's going to come as one piece and it does one cut. When we connect, we're going to make sure that we mirror, and then I'm going to search for glitter. Now, I had a little bit of trouble trying to find the glitter iron-on. I don't know why, but I feel like it's because I didn't type it iron-on. I just wrote iron on, and it decided that that wasn't a word. So I'm going to go up to browse all materials on the right hand side and just type in glitter in the end, and then it will come up with a whole heap of different options, and you're just going to click the glitter iron on. I did the default setting because I think it should be okay now that I've put in glitter. If I'd just done the regular iron on, I would have had to probably do it as a more pressure. But if with this glitter one, it already defaults to giving more pressure. So glitter iron on, and then we're just using a fine point blade. I'm just testing with a small cut to make sure that the machine has cut through that vinyl, because I chose that glitter vinyl or the glitter iron-on setting. I just wanted to make sure it works, and you can see it does. The actual making of this is so easy. So we've already done the weeding, which probably takes more time than actually putting it all together. So I've just grabbed my mini press. So you could use an iron for this for sure, but I've just put it on the second setting. And then all I need to do is make sure that you do a little bit of an iron over the top of the pencil case before you put the iron on, because that will just make sure that you've created a warm space for that glue to start adhering straight away, but also it gets rid of any moisture that's in the fabric or that might be still in the fabric. So it just means that it will stick a little bit better and a little bit quicker. And then all it is a matter of just pressing down on along the whole of the design and giving it a quick couple of irons, and then it's a warm peel, this vinyl in particular. So just giving it a couple of seconds and then just peeling it straight up. It's just too easy, really. And then look how cool it is. I love that shimmer in the actual glitter vinyl. It's so cool. And you know what? I feel it's really Moira Rose here. Oh, I love this pencil case. It is so cool. I love how it's a perfect color combination with the black zipper on the white pencil case. I love the fact that we found that Fontbolt website, which creates PNGs of different movie fonts, and so it's really easy to then upload into our Design Space program. This is a fantastic project for beginners because it is just a series of uploads into Design Space, but it's also a really cool one if you're trying to work out what kind of Temu projects you might be doing, or even just different ways of using up your vinyl. So I can't wait to see you again next week for another Temu transformation. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below.